Next speaker is Shanil from Cake Labs. Over to you, Shanil.
All right, so originally when I was going to give this presentation, it was really about leveraging smart technologies and business models integrated around customer needs, right? So I did something very Silicon Valley style. I actually included the word disruptive here. And what I'm going to really talk about is some disruptive business models that have been created. You've heard some of it before, but I've also talked about how we are potentially disrupting the restaurant industry. My company, Cake, formerly known as LeapSet, with a larger company. So a few things I'm going to talk about. One is an amazing opportunity that we're in front of, which is the multi-trillion-dollar platform that's connecting billions of people with billions of devices, right? You heard this connectivity discussion, I think, even in the past, but this is a really valuable way to make a lot of money. Dylan was talking about making money in this sense. What is driving this growth? There are 4 fundamental things. Some companies have actually built billion-dollar businesses, disruptive industries in this area. We'll talk a bit about it, but I'd like to understand what do they have in common, right? What do they have in common, and how can you use that in your businesses, right? Big businesses find it very difficult to disrupt the industry, right? There's a big difference between incremental innovation and disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation, you're actually changing an entire industry. Big companies find it very difficult to do that. I'll talk about why. And then finally, we have built this business model with Cisco, a very large company, 45-year-old company, it's a Fortune 100 company. And Cake was a small startup trying to disrupt the restaurant industry. I'll talk about that business model and the relationship and how that's going, right? So you heard about this before. Today, there are about 3.5 billion people connected on the internet with over 5 billion devices, right? People are connected all the time through laptops, tablets, smartphones, Internet of Things, and so on. New devices are getting connected every day, right? They say by 2025, all cars will be connected. The homes are getting connected, kitchens, fridges, smartwatch. A lot of people have that. Even toilets are getting connected, right? I don't know how successful this is going to be, but I want my toilet connected, but everything is getting connected. So what's driving this change? There are 4 fundamental things that are really driving this change, right? Number 1 is the access to low-cost, high-speed internet. Number 2, smartphones, right? Today, you can get a smartphone for less than $100 that was having the computing power 5 years ago on a desktop, right? Cloud computing, we heard about that. One thing that's underestimated a lot is about simple-to-use technology products. People love simplicity. People love products that are simple and convenient to use. In the past, we were given products that are very cumbersome, very difficult to use. But if you look at the products today, the user interface, the design, everything is very simple. And that's something very, very important. So this platform is growing at a tremendous rate. I'm sure you would have heard about data around this, but by 2020, they say 4 billion people will be connected with over 20 billion devices, right? So some companies have really been able to disrupt industries capitalizing on this platform. You heard these companies, so I'm not going to hack it again, because I think it's been heard before. Uber, massive company, Airbnb, Netflix, Dylan talked about. These are multi-billion-dollar businesses that have really been able to change the industry that they're operating in, right? Netflix, I just want to spend 2 minutes. They killed Blockbuster, a very traditional business. But more importantly, they're potentially going to kill network TV. And the fundamental reason here is that traditionally, network TV was, OK, I want to watch a movie at 7 o'clock on HBO. I had to be there at 7 o'clock to watch that movie. People don't want to do that anymore. People are much more busier, and they want to do things at their time, right? So I'd much rather watch that movie in the evening when I get home, when I have time to do that, right? So the cable companies are having a big problem with companies like Netflix coming in, and they're also going to go and disrupt the actual movie industry, because now they're making their own movies, right? And the biggest advantage that they have with across the movie industry that people like Time Warner or Sony don't have is the fact that they own the delivery channel. They own the channel that this product is going to be delivered straight to the consumer, right? Here's a potential unicorn. And in the Silicon Valley terms, we call a unicorn a company that is $1 billion. This is a very interesting company, very simple product. I have a short video I'd like to just show about this.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
All right, so a very simple company, like a very simple product. I'm sure a lot of the males here would really understand the problem that they're trying to solve. We got to shave every day, and that's painful, right? And it's not only is it painful, but to have to go to the store and get very expensive blades makes it very difficult, right? So this company has cracked this problem. They're based out of California. They're a $600 million company today. All they do is for $1 a month, they ship your razors, right? Yeah, and they're a potential unicorn. They have about 2 million users as members right now. So what do these companies have in common? I talked about a few unicorns that have already built it, and here's an example of a company that is a potential unicorn, right? Their product is very, very simple, right? Typically, these products are not built by industry insiders. These are built by people who are not in that industry, who can see it and realize there's a lot of inefficiency in this industry, right? They're not having complex infrastructures. They're actually building on that multi-trillion-dollar platform that I talked about. They're using infrastructure that's already there. And they are what we call full stack, right? Full stack means you're not just connecting to a consumer and maybe another business. You're actually changing the entire industry. You're actually redefining that industry by even doing things that are not technology-oriented. And finally, they're solving an old problem. They're solving an old problem in a brand new way using that platform, right? So here's a statement that I like to make, and this is a bit controversial to what I think the session before. We believe you cannot disrupt by asking your customers and only listening to your customers and understanding what they want, right? Because they may not necessarily know, but there's a big difference between what a customer wants and what a customer needs. Few examples, right? So if you look at a taxi company, if a taxi company was to ask a customer what they would have wanted, a customer would have said, I want cleaner, more comfortable cars, not an Uber platform, right? Hilton, they do this every week, right? They run surveys and ask customers, rate the service, what do they need? I'm sure the customers are going to say, I want high quality service, right? Not an Airbnb platform. Blockbuster went bust. I'm sure they had surveys. What would they ask their customers? Customers would have wanted a variety of, much more variety in their movies and so on, right? So we strongly believe that you can't disrupt an industry, and big companies can't do this because typically they're centered around what the customer really wants. And there's a big difference between what a customer wants and needs, right? But again, what I would say is that what people really value most is simplicity and convenience, right? So why is it that big companies can't disrupt? traditionally, they have a set plan, they have a certain way of doing things, and they're not as flexible, right? And why not? You know, they're potentially disrupting an existing product line if they go against it. Decisions are made by committees, and they're not fast. Decisions are a lot data-driven, right? Sometimes you may not have the data to make those decisions. The more successful a company, the reluctant to change because of failure, right? Failure is a loss of credibility. Startups don't have this problem, and they have nothing to lose, right? So they are much more disruptive, they'll challenge the industry and so on. And that's the main reason Tesla, a new incumbent to the car industry, produces and designs cars like this with 300,000 pre-orders for their Model 3 that came out last week, and a company like Nissan that has much more money, much more capital, much more factories, produces a Nissan Leaf, predominantly because if they can produce a much sleeker design car, it's going to disrupt the existing product line, right? So the model that we have created with Cisco is Cisco, a large company. I'll give you a quick intro onto that. They're a 45-year-old company. Their revenue last year was just under $50 billion. They have access to 500,000 of the million restaurants in the US, right? So they were struggling, okay, how do I participate in this platform? And what they did was they invested in us. At Cake, our vision now always has been to ensure that anytime a consumer interacts with a restaurant, it's in one of our products, right? We are a 5-year-old company, and when Cisco came to us, they realized they need to figure out how to disrupt this industry. They can't do it by themselves. Let's partner with someone who can. So what Cake really does is really changing the entire consumer experience with the merchant around the restaurant industry, right? This is a massive market. It's a $660 billion market. And what really happens when a consumer wants to go to a restaurant, right? Take an example, you land in New York, you want to find a restaurant. We call that the discovery phase. The top part of that diagram is called the discovery. I want to find a restaurant. What's a good restaurant? What's a good steakhouse in New York, right? Then you go in to make a reservation. I want to go to that restaurant. Maybe I call ahead. The arrival, the order, the entire operation inside the restaurant, the payment, and the loyalty, which is after you pay, how do you get this person back, right? So this is a massive industry, and it's plagued by a lot of inefficiencies with multiple different players in this market, right? Yelp is a leader in discovery. They're about a $2 billion company. OpenTable, another $2.6 billion company in the reservation space. Micro's a leader in the POS space. It's about a $5.3 billion company. And Square in the payment space, a $3.8 billion company, right? The issue here is that a consumer has to go through multiple different products to get that entire experience, from finding a restaurant, coming in, ordering a food, paying, and so on, right? So that's the problem that Cake tries to solve. What we have created is a single platform that does that entire thing from finding the restaurant to the end, right? That way the consumer deals with one single product over multiple different products. It's the same for the merchant. They don't have to work with multiple different vendors. So what makes this business model beneficial? Cisco gives us access to a massive market, capital, and also allows us to operate independently, right? We provide an opportunity for a big company, Cisco, to participate in this massive platform, and by a method for them to improve their customer experience and also have access to a large amount of data. So Cake platform today, we rolled out in the US October in 2015. We are in virtually every part of the United States. We do about $1 billion of revenue that goes through our platform every single year, and this is growing at an exponential speed. About $3 million every single day. We sat 45 million consumers last year alone. On a single day, 16,000. And we process about 130,000 orders in a single day, right? And because of this partnership, we are growing with Cisco at 250% year on year. Last year, we grew at 250% year on year. So finally, my message is this multi-trillion-dollar platform is here to stay, and it's growing. Either you have to get good at working on it, or you need to acquire someone who's good at working on it, or you're going to be disrupted by someone who's actually going to destroy your business. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanil.